Welcome to our video series on ways to automate your online business. In this video, we'll discuss the benefits of online help desk software. For pretty much any web business you run, from time to time, or even more regularly than that, people are going to want to get in touch with you. For example, perhaps you're selling advertising, so people will want to get in touch with you that way. Or if you have customers, you'll have to support them, of course. And again, if you're selling products or maybe software, you'll need to have pre-sale support. And obviously, the kind of support you can offer does depend on the kind of business you have. Again, for example, if you offer a service, and especially if it's quite expensive and an ongoing service, such as a copywriting service, for example, it's not the sort of thing people just buy off a website. It's generally a custom order, and people would need to speak to you and get to know you a bit, though not necessarily meet you in person. But you would probably need to speak to them and make sure the service you offer is right for them, and then you would invoice them on an ongoing basis. Obviously, with such a model, you generally have far fewer clients for customer support, and it isn't a huge task, unless, of course, you have a very demanding client. But let's just say you're a copywriter, and your average contract is $1,000 a month, and you have 6 clients. So let's say you're invoicing $6,000 a month on average. That's not going to be a huge customer service task. You can generally manage that by email and phone, and even perhaps in person if need be. However, in such a case, you may want to set up a separate email address just for clients, and those emails you respond to very promptly. Then perhaps another email address just for general prospect inquiries. Then you can reply to those when you get a chance, because obviously your existing clients would come first. So that's just one example. The example I'm going to talk through here is specifically where you get a much higher quantity of emails than that. And generally, if your website is visible at all, you do get a lot of contacts. And the problem with email is that it's very easy for people to send things off to you. Often, they don't really think through what they're sending or providing all the necessary details. You get all sorts of, if you made a small grammatical mistake on your website, you get emails about that. So you do get all sorts of stuff. And in my experience, especially with spam, just a tiny percentage of emails are actually important. So what I've had to do myself, and you may find this useful as well, is to put a few layers between people wanting to get in touch with you. As I mentioned, I do have specific email accounts, which I check very regularly for working with special clients and with suppliers I work with very regularly. But for everyone else, over the years, I've built up a customer database in the thousands, and I have email lists in the tens of thousands, and I do get a lot of emails, and for that reason, I've put some filters in place, as I mentioned. I don't generally offer any kind of customer support by email unless one of my customers happens to find a personal email account and sends the request to me that way, and then obviously I'll reply. But generally, and I make it clear on every website, every letter I send out, every package I send out, every email I send out, that the best way to get in touch with me is through the support help desk. So in the first instance, if people want to get in contact with me, they go to the support help desk page, and on the first page, I try to send people to the right part of the support desk. For example, on the first page, I say, if you're a customer of site A, go here, or if you're a customer of site B, go here, if you're a customer of site C, go here, or if your email query is regarding your subscription, go here, and so on. Then I finish it with, if your query is regarding anything else, go here. Obviously, if they've clicked through as a customer of site A, B, or C, then for each of those links, I have a page with answers to very frequent questions. For example, my package hasn't shown up yet. Please note that it generally takes around 7 days for packages to reach international addresses, so to speak. So often, just by having an FAQ of very common questions on that page, That can cut down a lot on support work. Then, if that hasn't answered their question, they can just click on a link, and they're taken to their help desk area. I'll come to that in just a moment. If they clicked on the link regarding my email subscription, then I provide answers to frequently asked questions, such as how do I change my email subscription, how do I change my email address, are you spamming me, and then I include a link if they have any other questions. But I do actually have a disclaimer saying, due to limited support resources, customers get priority, and if you aren't an existing customer of ours, you may experience significant delays in receiving an answer. Or, depending on the nature of your query, you may not receive an answer at all. I haven't had any problems with that to date since I put that disclaimer in. Really, if you receive a huge amount of emails of support requests, especially from people who aren't customers, unless it's a pre-sales question, you can't answer everything, and often people just write you for free advice. And you know, you run a business. You don't have time to answer, how do I upload my web page? I just don't answer queries like that. After all, why would I? I'm busy with customers. So I really feel that a support desk is important. If you want to perhaps help people who ask such questions, how do I upload my web page or how do I create a web page, and they aren't customers, then maybe on that page you can just send them to a forum, or even your forum if you have one, so at least they're staying on your website that way. So that's the first step in the process. Then there's actual help desk software. And the benefit of help desk software is, the problem with email is that not everyone gets email replies. You know, some spam filters are so overzealous that some genuine email replies go missing. So I feel it's best to use online help desk software. And that's where questions are submitted through a web page and the answers are viewed on a web page. Okay, I just searched for free help desk software, and there are tons of free software that you can download and try. Generally, it's scripts, which install on your website. And of course, there are also paid solutions. If you just search for help desk software, you'll find many paid solutions. And one of the leading ones at the moment is Kayako, and they offer a number of versions. There's the least version at $30 a month, or you can pay for it outright at several $100s, and so on. And this gives a very professional support interface for your business. And again, it has a built-in FAQ to answer many of the common questions. And this actually helps people send you useful queries as you write answers to, rather than just, often if people just send you emails, they say, how do I cancel? And it's amazing how often people forget to mention which site they're a member of, what their details are, or whatever. So you wind up playing guessing games or reply back, which site are you talking about, and often you don't receive a reply back to that. So help desks are very useful. For example, if we go to Support Desk, this is kind of how the software looks. You can customize the look, but this is how it looks by default. You have a knowledge base, downloads, you can submit a ticket, and then you can choose a department, break it down by department, sales, billing, resellers, abuse, and so on. So let's say billing. Next. And you can even include live chat if you wish. Then they have name, email, and so on. And when you send a reply to them, it sends them an email, and also the reply is viewable online in case they don't receive that email. So they can check back the next day to see if you've replied. What I've used for a number of years, and it's still available, and hopefully it will stay available for a long time, it's entirely free, so there's no support for it, but it's good software. It's good free help desk software is PMOS Help Desk Software. If you're not sure how to install it or work with it, you may want to hire someone very inexpensively from scriptlance.com or elance.com, for example. but I find this works very well for free software, and it's quite customizable. Obviously, this entire process doesn't fully automate customer support. That's not really possible if you have any sort of customers. It's not possible to completely automate the support function. But really, I feel it is very important to set up filtering processes and really prioritize support requests. You can't reply to everyone. Some people send in emails in support requests that you just shouldn't reply to because they're asking for free advice or making comments on your grammar or whatever. That's just not very important to your business. So for requests like that, you should set up systems to ignore them so you really focus on your customers, on keeping them happy and replying to customers as a priority. Using these tips can actually greatly decrease how many contacts you receive and really help you focus and reply quickly to the most important contacts in your business. By using FAQs, either directly on web pages as I detailed, and also even with software like this, the knowledge base, for example, that can also cut down greatly on people getting in touch with you because their questions are answered just by looking in the FAQ section.